Yes, guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102, the D.T.L Season 5. The launch is right around the corner as we fast approach the launch of the season. We are currently going through Haggles now that all the auctions are out the way. Auctions number 10 was brilliant. Now, do you remember? You might recall from the last video, I was hoping to get at least 2 of the 4 bids that I made. I didn't get fuck all. So I ain't gonna lie to you, was pissed off. So let's have a quick gander now then at the D.T.L. And let's have a look at auction 10 then. There's been a lot of activity. I mean, I've done a lot of activity, to be fair. Let's just have a look. There we go. So here we go. So let's have a look at auction 10 then and see who got what. Okay, final auction is here. No more to come. So for those of you that didn't spend your budget, you snooze, you lose, as Mark says. Okay, so Arsenal. Again, I think they haven't got much money over at Arsenal. Got a freebie, got a couple of players there. Daniel Jensen. I'm sure Daniel Jensen I used to have. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Blackburn, just a ghost, failed to win a bid. Bolton Wanderers, Eversham, brings in Archie Thompson on a free transfer. Spectral. So, Spectral got 1 player and he did it the hard way. He beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players to him. Interesting one though, because I'm sure London 35 didn't have that didn't have massive amounts of money. Sure, I read that somewhere. Robert Pires, Trunky over at Colchester, has landed Pires for £24.8 million. Quite a sum, because I did bid for him. As you can see, I bid for him. And I can't even remember what I bid. It was clearly nowhere near that. AMC over at Hull City, failed to win a bid. Ryan Giggs. Now, Giggs, I didn't bother bidding for Giggs, probably for the same reason a lot of people didn't. Didn't want to get involved in a fucking bidding war. And there was turned out to be 3 players that went for him. Dweverston ended up landing him for what I feel is a good price at £16.5 million. He beat Redknapp and Spectral. He also landed the other guys well ahead of Mark, Derm, Trunky, Luke, Eversham. So, to be fair to Dweverston, he did a good job. General Smuts, well, he had a fucking good day at the office, didn't he? Simon Davies, he beat me to him because I went for him. I know I didn't offer nowhere near as much as 15 million for Simon Davies. But, you know what, General Smuts, it's the right thing to do. He's got the money. And he's beaten Derm, Trunky, Redknapp and myself. Willie Sagnall, he beat me to him as well, prick. He beat Trunky, he beat Dweverston, Redknapp, Spectral, AMC. Melvin Brown, he beat AJ, Eversham, London. He got the next play, got the next play. You know, all 5 bids, he landed them all. I mean, Marcelo Gallardo, great player, although his injury prone does worry me. 20.1 million, I think he's overpaid on that personally. I think he's overpaid that, but who gives a shit, because it ain't me. But no, to be fair to the General Smuts, what a day at the auction. I mean, what are we looking at there? So, over £46 million. Fuck me. Redknapp at Liverpool failed to win a bid. AJ ended up bringing Zepter in for a Mingy 400 grand. London ended up bringing Bat in for 200 grand. Luke over at Preston failed to win a bid. Derm over at the Saints brings in Lucenov for 5.4 and another dude for £500,000. Mark brought in his dude for just under £500,000. Reese over at Tranmere Rovers, he had a few successes there. He brought in a few players there. He beat me to Pandiani. Then me, of course, failed to win a bid. Tied bids, I believe they've already been rectified. So, that's how the bidding went. Now, for me personally, I've been very, very busy on the Haggles. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know how this works, but I'll do a little dummies guide for you. Everybody has their transfer list, players that they want to get rid of. Mark gives us all a few weeks, and we all publicise our transfer list, any players that we want to get rid of. Predominantly, it's more Haggles than anything, or part X's and stuff like that. So, and then it's really a case of PMing or DMing, as the hip word is nowadays. PMing somebody and saying, so hypothetically, me contacting Redknapp and saying, mate, I'll give you X amount of money for Marcio Santos. And he'll either say, yep, deal, or no, fuck off, or what have you, you know. And that did happen. You know, that has happened. Now, you know, we've all got to look at players. Like, what will happen is I'll fire up the game. I'll look at who's available from that transfer list, and then we'll go from there. Now, for me personally, I was prompted with a message, and I hadn't even got this player on the market, believe it or not. So that's what made this really bizarre. So my Haggles have gone like this. Southampton, Durham, he approached me and said, would I take Mark Kerr and 8.5 million in exchange for Franca? So what I did is I checked. I just wanted to look at Franca, what he was like again. Looked at Mark Kerr. I do like Mark Kerr, to be honest with you. Then I thought, do you know what? Let's negotiate this. Throw in that fucking guy's name who escapes me, and with the 8.5 million, and we got a deal. He confirms. So what? He says, yeah, deal. So we both go on to the confirmed player-to-player transfers. I write it, he writes it, or I write it, he confirms, vice versa. Boom, done deal. If someone writes it and the other person don't confirm it, deal's off. So that was my first bit of action within the Haggles. We then approached Redknapp over at Liverpool, having looked at his transfer list, having looked at the players on the save. That's who we got. We then approached Dueverston over Omar Gomez. Now, some people may argue, you know, he ain't that great. There is a method to my madness. There is a method to my madness. And then, of course, one of the last deals that I made, a triple whammy. Now, I didn't know if this deal would go through because General Schmertz don't check his PMs as frequent as probably what I do or some do. But there you see, Marion Bahars, 4.5 million. Mascara, 2 million. Gambiani, 2 million. A triple whammy. So, that's all our deals. So, Mark released a new save. Now, this is a save after, unofficial. This is a save after all the auctions. Now, there are going to be mistakes, and Mark that relies on support and feedback, really. Now, as it happened for me at Wolves, I counted I had 43 players, went through it all. Do you remember I was doing it as a shortlist? And mine was absolutely spot on. And obviously, I've now worked out that I've got 49 players, because as you see, I've got 7, yeah. So I've brought in 6 new players on the Haggles. So, and you might remember me saying, I said I didn't actually get a goalkeeper. So, we've got a really, really big squad. I put my own transfer list out there. It's good. I mean, Franca, we're going to lose Franca. Now, Franca is one of my star men, but I feel that I've got quite a lot of depth up top, so to speak. You know, the fact that I can use the likes of Rodrigo Brozek as well. He's more naturally a number 9. Claudio Lopez, I think we play better. Posse as well. The Franca deal, I felt was the right thing. Chautas as well. Now, do you remember on the previous version, the previous save, I took a pot shot on this check. Now, this is a risk that I took. I brought him for something mingy, like a couple of $100,000, and I said to you, he was 14 years of age. And it's a pot shot I take, because I think he's got no potential. He's like a random player. So this is only a preview save. So Mark's going to start a new game again with all the final haggles and shit in, and I'm hoping that he does not come as a 21-year-old. I mean, yeah, he ain't that great. I mean, I've seen worse, to be honest with you, but he's 21. He's 21 years of age. Now, that's a random thing. I knew the risk I was taking with that. I knew the risk I was taking. So if I just go back to the transfer list a minute, and I'll show you who I've got on the transfer market. So they're my players that I've got on the market. So we've got Joe Cannon. Although I have put, guys, just so you know, I am still open to flog these cunts. I'm not necessarily looking for an exchange. I'm happy to just fuck these guys off. Joe Cannon. He can go, probably because I've brought a goalkeeper in now. I think I brought 2 goalkeepers in. Pale Sorensen. Let's have a look at Sorensen for those of you that are looking at him. Not a bad player, a little bit of versatility. I'm clearly going to tell you the pros of him. I'm not going to tell you any negatives. Sergi. Now, Sergi's a quality left-back. But my signing of Solari is going to make Sergi probably surplus to requirements. George Vargas. What was he? Sweeper defender. So George Vargas. There you go, he can fuck off. Harold Cerny. Now, I don't even think he was any fucking good for me. I don't even know why I bought him. He can go. And finally, Ivan Perez. I'm happy for Ivan Perez to go. And just fuck those players off. Now, the bottom line is, right, guys, it isn't necessarily just about who's on my market, because as Derm pointed out, he made a random bid for Franca. Now, yeah, okay, I didn't say I was going to sell Franca, but I don't know, everyone's got a price. Now, you could argue that I've been fucked over there, and you know what? Maybe I have. I try to look at the bigger picture, the squad depth and stuff like that. What we'll do now then is let's take a look at my new recruits. My new recruits then. Now, of course, just remember, these guys could change when the new save is loaded up. So Marian Bahars, he can play up top, of course. We'll see how he goes. And historically, I tend to find he does relatively well over on CM. Gambarini. Okay. Method to my madness is that he's only 19 years of age. 19 years of age. We'll see how he flares up. Oscar Mascara. Again, very young, vibrant. Happy with that. Very, very happy with that indeed. Okay, so we also brought in then, as you can see, from Leeds United, Omar Gomez. Again, very young, right wing, 22 years of age. Very pleased with that. We also brought in, I believe, this was a goal. I think we brought in, if I remember rightly, 2 goalkeepers. He was available on the market, and yeah, this really defies about the age thing, but I felt this was quite a good signing for only £2.3 million. And of course, as I said, we are going to bring in Mark Kerr. Mark Kerr, very young, only 19 years of age. And of course, we are bringing in, yes, he's over the hill. That's why I had a feeling Durham would go with this. So that's our goalkeepers in. So very, very pleased with that. Let's take a look now then, guys. I mean, let's just see. Who's manager of Arsenal? I forget who Arsenal is, but I've totally forgot who. I totally forget who's who. So let's just, before we go any further, I didn't mean to go to that. So that is everybody's final budget. That's before Haggles, let me remind you. So what we'll do is look at Arsenal first then. Marimo. This is before Haggles, just to remind you. He's got a couple of good players. He ain't got much left. So I'm just looking at money. Man United. Yeah, London, he only had £1.1 million. So he didn't have much money. So he took a pot shot on those bids, I think it's fair to say. And as you can see, who was it that we said that spent an absolute fortune? Was it General Smuts? Was it? It was Smuts, weren't it? Leicester. So, Dweverson's got a bit of money to spend. In fact, do you know what's bizarre? I didn't even realise this, actually, that I've got the most money. Didn't even realise that. So, let's take a look now then at... Blackburn are not in this division. Bolton Wanderers are not in the division. Chelsea. Spectral. Okay, let's have a look where we are at with Spectral. Vieri, Cannavaro, Thuram, Alex. Got a fucking amazing setup, hasn't he? Deisler. Yeah, he's got a great side. He really has got, as much as it pains me to admit that. Trunky over at Colchester United. He's got a well-known defensive midfielder there, Patrick Vieira. Now, do you know the funny thing is, right? Obviously, as I said, this is an unofficial save, so Mark's going to restart this save. He hasn't started as good as what I know he can. So, Mark will certainly... Trunky will be hoping that he starts a little bit stronger than that. But he's got a really strong setup. Trezeguet, Overmars, Hakanzuga, Mendieta. What a fucking player. He's got a great setup. No doubt about that. Hull City. The manager, AMC. Let's have a look where we're at with him. Edgar Davids. Ronald de Boer. He's gone very hot, very Dutch over there for his top boys. We'll see how he flares up. On to Dweverston at Leeds United. Let's see who is biggest. Ryan Giggs, of course. Yeah, I forgot about that. Ryan Giggs, interesting one. Ebby Sand. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Leicester City. Leicester City. Who did we say Leicester City was? General Smuts. Look at that. Finishing the tea. Apologies. Okay, so Anelka, Locatelli, Makaleli, some solid players there over at Leicester. Let's look at Redknapp then. Liverpool, Beckham, Chiesa, Cafu, Djalmania. It's got some solid players again. Solid players. I'm intrigued to know you guys' perspective. Who you think has got the strongest team? I'm only going by value. Let's go to Manchester City over at AJ, Ortega, Jose Mari, Rossini, Diego Alonso, Stanic, Bobby Petta. I think Bobby Petta is such a good performer. Absolute brilliant performer. No doubt about that. Let's go to Manchester United. Let's have a look at Ian over at Manchester United. Well, maybe not the highest valued lineup in comparison. So who knows? Could all be about tactics when it comes to Old Trafford. Who knows how that will flare up. Let's go to Preston North End. Edmundo, Selakovic, the great Selakovic, Guti. Southampton, Palermo, Redondo, Valeron. That is Durham. Stoke City. We'll come to Stoke City in a minute. They're not a top flight. Tranmere Rovers, Rui Costa, Pandiani, Slavin Wiltord. A couple of good players there. And of course me, in terms of value, mine's not the highest valued lineup. But I think there's also, I don't know, maybe the reputation of a team. Not that it makes any difference whatsoever. Now let's take a look at the clubs that we didn't get to just now. Blackberry, just fucking hell, it's got a God, look at that, what? Am I reading that right? He's got, okay, well I hope I'm reading that right. So that's Blackburn, and that is Mark. So, I don't think I've missed anybody out. If I have, apologies. So, we are ready then, guys. We're ready for the launch of the D.T.L Season 5. You know, if it looks like something that appeals to you guys, for those of you that are not too sort of clued up on it, or you like the sound of it, get your name down on the waiting list, yeah. You know, it is really good fun. It is really good fun. And I think we've been quite fortunate because we've not had any strikes from anybody for a while. That being said, I'm going to be away going forward for a period of time. I don't know how long. So it may well put me on strikes. Could even be as much as 3 strikes, as much as that pains me to admit. And if that's the case, then, you know, I'll take the punishment. If it happens, it's something beyond my control. So I'll just put that out now, Mark. I'm going to be without internet from about the 8th of August until further notice. Personal shit. And I don't know. If there's a way around it, great. So let me know, Mark, if there's any way around it. But if not, I totally get it. You know, you have to have rules in place. And I totally respect that and I get that. That's what makes this game so successful, in my opinion. And that is it, guys. So that is a D.T.L all done and dusted. We are ready for Season 5. I, for one, cannot wait. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can't either. So, till next time from me, guys, take it easy. Outro.